In this section, we're going to create visualizations using Python scripting. So starting out, we're going to create a new page by clicking this plus sign at the bottom, and then we're going to rename it by right-clicking, and then click Rename. And then we're going to name it to Python scripting example. Okay. And then you're going to have to navigate to the location of your TD2 folder you had downloaded previously. That'll be inside your File Explorer for Windows. And then Mac users, you're going to find File Explorer on your virtual machine, locate to the Downloads folder, and then you're going to right-click, and then you're going to go into the TD2 folder, and then you're going to locate the happy score underscore income CSV file within, and then you're going to right-click it, and then click Copy Path, as we're going to need it later. And then you're going to come back to Power BI right here. So once you're back in Power BI after copying as path from the CSV file, we're going to import the data by clicking on Get Data and then click More at the bottom. And then in the search bar, you're going to type Python and then select the first option and then click Connect. The option should be named Python script. Now we're going to create a dataset called correlation of the CSV file, but you won't be able to see what I type inside the Python script editor on Power BI desktop. So instead, I'm going to show you through my command prompt here. But don't enter it through the command prompt for yours. Instead, enter it through the Python script editor on Power BI desktop, the window that you just opened up when you imported the CSV file into Power BI desktop. So first, we're going to import the pandas package. And then, well, don't mind this, just copy this. And then you're going to make a new line by hitting enter. And then you're going to type in correlation pd dot read underscore CSV, and then open parentheses, R for root, and then you're going to paste in the file path that you just copied, and then closing parentheses. And then on the navigator window, you're going to check mark the box next to the correlation dataset, and then click load. Okay, now that you're back on Power BI desktop, we're going to want to transform the data. And how to do that is that you're going to go to the top ribbon towards the middle, and there's going to be an icon that says transform data. We're going to drop the arrow down, and we want the second option, data source settings. And now you won't be able to see my window that pops up, but it's going to say data source settings at the top. What you want to do is you want to select the Python one, and then you want to hit edit permissions down at the bottom, and then you're going to set the privacy level to public. So drop down the arrow and select the public, and hit OK. And then you can close out this window. And then you're going to be back here at the Power BI desktop. You can see your canvas here, your visualizations, and your data. Make sure you're inside the correlations dataset. You can unexpand the currencies one and expand the correlation one. And then we go back to the Home tab, and then we want to transform the data again, except we want the first option, transform data now. It'll open up Power Query Editor in a new window, and what we're first going to do is we're going to make sure that the correlations dataset is selected in the left pane, and then we're going to shift over to the Transform tab right here, and then there's going to be an option to run a Python script, and we're just going to go ahead and click that. So what you're going to type in is country equal to dataset, and then 2 opening square brackets, single quotes, country, single quote again, comma, and then single quote, GDP, single quote, and then 2 ending square brackets. This means that we want to create a table called country, and then take the country and GDP columns from the initial data table. And then you're going to hit OK, and a new table will appear with the name country, and then our initial data set is listed underneath. You can open up the table by clicking here. And you're going to see that indeed the Python script has created a new table in Power BI with the columns country and GDP. You can also create new columns from existing ones in our data set. So if you click on this gear icon right next to Run Python script to edit it, and then you're going to create a new line by hitting enter, and you're going to enter the following right underneath the code that we coded previously. So it's going to be data set, opening square bracket, double quotes, new column, closing quotes, closing square bracket, equal to dataset dot country plus operator, and then it says single quotes is, oops, let's make space, is data set dot adjusted satisfaction. Adjusted satisfaction is another column inside our data set. And then we're going to do map string to make it a string. I think I spelled this correct. But what this basically means is that we're adding a new column that's being named new column into our initial data set. And then this new column is going to contain a concatenated string that states the country column, followed by is, and then it lists the corresponding adjusted satisfaction. So you're going to hit OK, and then it takes you back to Power Query Editor, and then you're going to just exit out these steps so you can access the initial dataset table. And if you open the table, so if you scroll all the way down to the right, you'll see that there's a new column, like how we listed, and then you can see the values. It forms a string by taking the country from this row, Argentina, and then it concatenates is, and then the corresponding adjusted satisfaction. So we scroll over to adjusted satisfaction, and yep, it's 37, country's Argentina. And then it goes all the way down. We can also sort values using Python, and instead of going back to this edit script, we can just run it right here. And then what you're going to type inside your run Python script is dataset.sort underscore values, and then you're going to do an opening parentheses, an opening square bracket, double quotes, happy score, closing double quotes, closing square bracket, comma, in place, and then we're going to do it equal to true, comma, ascending, equal to false, and then closing parentheses. And this time we're going to sort the dataset based on its happy score with the happiest countries listed first. So hit OK, click onto the table next to dataset, and you're going to see that once it opens up, yep, Switzerland is first with a happy score of 7.587. And from there, it just keeps descending. Now to finally create those visualizations, shift back to the Home tab, and then hit Close and Apply. Okay, make sure that you're in Report View, and then click on Python Visual in the Visualizations pane right here. And then if it asks you to enable it, enable it. And inside your data pane, under the correlations table, we're going to select the happy score attribute, and then the average income attribute. And here Power BI places them into the data frame. If we come up here on line 3 for us. And then we're going to run a few lines, and we're going to import matplotlib first, and then we're going to do a sublibrary of it called pyplot, and we're going to assign it to plt to reference it easier later. And then we want to create a scatter plot, so we're going to do dataset.plot to plot it, and then to plot it from the dataset, and then we're going to specify what kind we want is scatter for scatter plot, comma, and then the x-axis we're going to have our happy score, comma, and then for our y-axis we're going to want average income, comma, and then the color will be my favorite, pink. And then we're going to name our scatter plot. So it's going to be a new line. We're going to do PLT title, opening parentheses, double quotes, happy score versus our average. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, average income, comma, and then our font size is going to be 20. And then lastly, make sure you have line PLT show and then parentheses. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the visualization. So we're going to hit the play button right here. Oh, I have a typo. Best thing about Python script editor, same thing with R. It's better to do it inside the actual Python environment or RStudio to code, and then you're going to put it inside Power BI Desktop, because for the script editors on Power BI Desktop, there's no indication of any error like how it is with the Python environment with the little squiggly lines and also RStudio. So back to this, and the visual placeholder is now a nice scatter plot, and with the x-axis as, let me see, let me expand it for you. Okay, and then drop that. We have an x-axis as happy score, and then the y-axis as average income, and it has the title we specified earlier. And with this visualization, we can see that as income goes up, so does the country's happy score. So this may indicate a positive correlation between the two. And we can also play around and tweak our chart a bit to make it look prettier. So back in the script editor, we can address line 8 by adding a custom marker and alpha to change the appearance of things. After pink, we're going to put a comma. We're going to do marker equals to single quotes plus sign, and then comma alpha is equal to 0.6, and then we're going to run it again. Okay, and I'm going to minimize this, and you can see that the dots have changed into tiny plus signs. There you go, tiny plus signs. And the transparency of the markers have changed ever so slightly. You're able to create dashboards with multiple visualizations that display different analysis like this if you continue to explore the visualizations pane. Here, let me move this over. We select it. We're going to minimize it a bit, and then we're going to shift it over here. And then we're going to close out of it to deselect it. And we can maybe use a pie chart. And then show down here. And then if we expand it, it says select or drag fields to populate this visual. We can select maybe, we can select region, and then maybe compare it to happy score. There we go. And then we zoom in. Oh, let's do view, page view, fit to page. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so we can see the other visualization. There we go. And then we can see that the pie chart compared region, and then they compared it to the happy score between each region. And it looks like Western Europe and Saharan Africa seems to be the happiest regions. But yeah, you can click on another and you can fill up the entire page, but I won't for time's sake. So for now, just please screenshot this entire screen and then paste it into your answer sheet.